then they took money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street, they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yo yo, my ego don't come. Oh yo yo, my people make you shout. Oh yo yo, my ego don't come. Oh yo yo, my ego don't come, man of the masses. Oh yo yo, my ego don't come. Oh yo yo, my ego diary politico. Oh yo yo, my ego don't come. Oh yo yo. This man not dey off in mind. Oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come. Oh, yeah, yeah. Aha. Now you wanna done here. All this bad politics.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live. Thank you so much for joining me. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends and tell them Mayegun today.
Mayegun diary politico. Godfatherism.
From the BBC reports, by the way, the BBC report that indicts Wike is for an arched job. I'm going to tell you about it. Share this broadcast.
Kuti. Facebook.
Kalu just met with Rabiu Kwankwaso. Kwankwansok. That's what one woman called him. They met in Paris. The foreign investors that they told you Kalu went to meet in Paris or in Europe, Rabiu Kwankwaso is one of them. And government of national unity is being discussed. And more reason why the attacks on Peter Obi and the obedient in the coming days will look like Third World War. Share this broadcast. Idon, as they are currently explaining to us on social media, he don't know they read, but he don't know they fail. He don't know get job, but he don't know they lack. He don't know they go jail, now he don't they arrest police. He don't know they get bullied, now he don't they slap police. But they say when he don't become he don't wo, afaimokomada don't wo. In Yoruba, he don't can start and win all the time as he believe. But sometimes when he don't turn to he don't wo, it can be a don't wo. Seun Kuti, our own very Seun, has run into the trap of the criminal police of Nigeria. And this time around, he has little friends. Now, what they are doing with Seun, as you are watching this video, of course, Idoti Dadongo, share this broadcast, please. 1 second though.
ayé Kuti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra ayé súnra òkúra òṣèlú.
Instagram can't explain. You know how many police I don't tear slap? They'll say because you be fella pikin. It doesn't matter because Jesus be God pikin if he die for you. You must know who you are before you make your move. So I make my move from where I did. Because I know who I am. That's how I must make my move. Enyike, we have your time. Me, I have your time.
Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran òun.
ayé Kuti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Anyway.
ayé Kuti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Thank you. My my lyrical genius. Thank you, brother. Anyway, good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is your Mayegun live, and I am kind of welcoming you to the Temple of Truth. Here is your Baba G.O., the General Overseer. For 48 hours, the last time I saw you, a lot has happened. And in politics, they say 24 hours is a very long time in politics. This time around, on Mayegun's Diary Politico, I've been away for 48 hours. A lot has happened. So I'm going to tell you as many as possible tonight. And I'm going to probably take calls too. Right. BBC is doing an hatchet job for APC, Egbekegbe, in Nigeria. At first, I need you to understand that when you go out or all out to fight the establishment, right? When the establishment fights back, it is mostly beyond just one single individual that you probably wish you were stopping. This time around, in Nigeria, a charade happened. A fraudulent election was conducted. Nigeria more divided than ever. People are more worried. What is going to happen next? What is that future hold? A lot of questions, but no answers. But as they come, you can kind of unravel them yourself if you are not in any way dodging the truth. So let's get it started from where it all started from. BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, an entity, a media entity that my tax also pay for them. They are currently in Nigeria. This is like 3 months after, well, almost 3 months after the charade that saw the APC and PDP unleash the never seen before terror on Nigerians because of power. And for these 2-3 months, a lot of questions have been asked, but no answers until a BBC showed up. You know what they did? They decided to come and give an international sort of, endorsement into the already exposed fraud in Rivers State, so as to at least say, okay, fine, we can rig the Rivers State. It was terrible. Very, very bad. But that won't change the results. That's exactly what BBC did. BBC admitted by pretending to expose the rigging in Rivers State, how it was done, who was paid, and on until they discovered that, in fact, Wike even hired unknown people to serve as INEC officials and make announcement of election results, even when INEC didn't even know them. INEC doesn't know them. They don't work for INEC. They claim to be working for some certain schools in Rivers State, schools that don't exist, but they announced the result. Long story anyway, I'll get to that part. No matter what BBC is trying to bring out right now, that kind of will make you jump up and say, yes, we said it. We said it. How could this, you know what I mean? No. It's like a bait. Because at the end of that whole report, you know what they said? They said, even if they cancel the result of election in Rivers State, due to the most careless, crooked way of rigging an election, like it was pretty much like, a war, according to them, that even if they prove that in the court tribunal, it's still not enough to say Tinubu didn't win. That is the Achet job, according to them. Now, I am going to use their template, okay? And I'm going to use that to kind of, okay, hang on. Let's use this first. Part of the accusation against Tinubu's rigging, mind you, this broadcast is for educational purpose and purposes only. It won't change anything in Nigeria. Are you with me? Whatever you might pick up here is just my own way of explaining to you far better what is really wrong with Nigeria, why logic can never tally with illogical. And no matter how many times you throw up an umbrella, what's that called again? And fan. Abebe. No matter how many times you throw it up, it will always fall flat. And reasons why is what I'm about to paint for you to understand better. Here you get. However, when they plotted their rigging, it was purely numbers of votes allocation. Yeah? Turkey, they said their population is about 94 million, less than 100 million. The population of registered voters in Turkey was about 64 million. They just conducted an election. Do you know the numbers of those who participated? More than 50 million participated in their elections, which means just about 80%. In Nigeria, they have about 95 million registered voters. The rigging started from the numbers of voters cards they shared to you, right? But the other part was that numbers were meant to be allocated, period. Here you get. All the numbers allocated to Kolu, APC, Egbekegbe, 90% of the numbers, they were cooked numbers. Really cooked. So, I'm going to use the template of BBC to share with you what they did in other places. Now, let's make this very clear. You know the era when they will tell you Northern Nigeria will decide who become president of Nigeria. I grew up knowing that. I grew up believing that. The Northern Nigeria are more than Southern Nigeria. And all other myths you were told. You see, disobedient, they demystified all of that. Now we know that Northern Nigeria means no jack shit if they choose to continue to promote their criminal terrorist leaders. They don't decide leadership in Nigeria except when they used to write the number. Now, disobedient crack all of that in case if you are not paying attention. They said that to become president of Nigeria, their law says you must win 25% of the votes in 2/3, which is 24 states, and the federal capital. So which means all you have to do, get the total number of votes cast, and make sure you score 25% in 24 states. If you like, out of the 17 states in southern Nigeria, score the 25 states there. That means you have 17 already. Go to the middle belt, where they have another, another 8 or 9 states. Go to the middle belt and score 25 states. 25%. You will be president of Nigeria without Kano, Sokoto, Katsina, Kaduna, and all these places. You can be president of Nigeria. Now, disobedient exposed that too. There's no longer any caliphate anywhere deciding anything. Oh. That demystification is what the establishment want to stop now, in case if you don't know. So what happened? Tinubu, after they plotted and plotted, they were so confident that Lagos State will kind of boost them, and Southwest Nigeria will boost Tinubu. Northern Nigeria, where he expected their support, because he wasn't expecting anything from Eastern and Niger Delta part of Nigeria. He wasn't expecting anything. He knew they were not wanted. Sure you get. However, the Northern Nigeria that he expected them to pull the number, they've calculated where and where. Compare with Atiku, Obi no even did the picture. Until the obedient did what is impossible. They pulled this so much that even with a Wike, they wanted to prove that he is the emperor, he is the most powerful, he is this or that. Where a Wike employed, listen to this, where a Wike employed 300,000 people. Not 3,000 though, not 30,000 though, 300,000 people. And he put them on the payroll of the Rivers State government, because he wanted to stop any vote for PDP, for Atiku in Rivers State. Don't forget that. He invested so much that every person on that list were to be paid 50,000 naira each. And he employed them in January. Election was in February. So this was the structure, right? That Wike promised Tinubu. So what they were looking for was, you know what? We need 25% in some Eastern Nigeria, in this part and that part. That's all we need. And we can cook all the number from the rest part of Nigeria. We know we can't win all these places. We can't even we don't even dream it. Sure you get? And it was pretty much right? So they faced where they wanted to face. They told Wike we needed just 25%. 25%. Sure you get? And what did Wike do? He went mad. Overboard. When last did you hear from him again? I mean, since Tinubu visited Rivers State, Port Harcourt, have you heard from Wike since then? Okay. They are about to throw him under the bus. And that is why BBC ignored Lagos. BBC ignored the plateau, ignored Jos. Ignore the Bauchi, ignore the middle belt part of Nigeria, right? Ignored all these major states where reports of real rigging have been recorded. I'll show you some of them now. They ignored them. They faced Wike. They are Wike's. What Wike did is, in fact, so criminal enough that it is enough to bring down your demonstration of grace, your democracy. Now, examples, according to, watch this. Sorry, guys, if you are watching on a TikTok, you may not be able to see this screen, okay? But however, I'll kind of read them out. So, guys, they said, this is the pattern, or if you are watching on the screen right now, this is the pattern of what happened. So, according to BBC, they said, Peter Obi received more votes in Rivers State, but Bola Tinubu was declared winner. Sure you get. Now, if you, do you know that yellow, that golden or yellow part, that is meant to be the original vote, which was over 200,000, right? While Tinubu scored a little bit over 100,000 in Rivers State, according to BBC. But when the INEC when Wike will declare results, they declare that Tinubu scored over 200,000, and they reduced Obi's to a little bit over 150,000. Now that is just over, right? But how did they do it? It was done local government by local government. Take a look at this. In this Obigbo local government here, where from BBC's result, which is actually the result that is available, okay, shows that in this local government, Obi scored nearly 20,000 votes, where White Tinubu scored less than 2,000 votes. But when they would declare results, they declared a little bit over 10,000 for Obi, and they gave Tinubu over 17,000 votes, over 16,000 votes. So do you see how they do that, right? That is by, it's just number allocation. Sure you get. And because it is their INEC that is allowed to announce results, they will say you can cry from now till tomorrow. Cry from now till tomorrow. You don't go change anything. What is done. Move on. But here is why it is difficult for so many to actually move on. And these are the reasons why Tinubu will be an illegitimate president. He's not going to be the first. But they don't give a damn. Now, for your own eyes, you go to see them as a legitimate. It's not my this or that. They go swear I'm in. But hang on. Here is another one. According to BBC, this one is Obio Apo, where Wike spent hundreds of millions of River State money to employ people. Even if just, you see, 300,000, if the people that Wike was to pay as polling unit special advisor to governor, 300,000. If all the 300,000 alone just choose to go and vote for Kolu, Kolu will win River State. But it simply means that even when Wike was paying people, they were not even listening to him. He couldn't convince the people he promised, he was paying, to make sure that, you know what I mean? Tinubu become president in become elected in River State. 300,000 employed, special advisor to governor on polling unit matter. You remember them? He couldn't convince them for all of them to deliver and vote for Wike, because the total votes they declared for Kolu in River State, rigged one, is just over 200,000. The total original vote that gave Obi the victory in River State was just over 200,000. Which means Wike, the emperor himself, actually, sort of bought the rope they will use to hang him. So what happened? That's River State. They said Wike hired people. This is level of desperation. Wike hired people who are not employees of INEC. Remember when Wike started kidnapping electoral officers in River State that night? Do you remember? Do you remember some of the coppers that were macheted, that were beaten bloodied, and some of them killed? Do you remember? Now, all of that have now been reported by BBC. But according to them, it's not enough. It's just River State. Now, let me give you some examples here. Again, this will work well for people who are watching on YouTube or Facebook. So they'll be able to kind of see all of the pictorial, illustration, rather. So if you are watching on TikTok, you will likely not be able to see what they are saying. But I'll keep talking. So thank you very much, everyone. If you have joined this chat, remember, you can still like, share, and even subscribe. Okay. So now this is the map according to INEC. Yeah. According to them, Peter Obi won in 11 states and Abuja. Kwankwaso won 1 state, and that is a Kano. Atiku won in 12 states. and Tinubu won in 12 states. But from the results that are currently on their own INEC website, this is not even like anything made up. BBC referred to the INEC IREF. IREF is where they are storing the election result. So BBC referred to that IREF and they said, even though they declared Tinubu winner of Rivers State, but the result on INEC website shows that Tinubu lost in Rivers State. Obi won in Rivers State. So put it this way. INEC said Obi won in 11 states plus Abuja. So which means if the same INEC with the original result shows that he won in Rivers, that means you have to take one out of Tinubu state, states, and it will reduce it to 11. And you had that to Obi's, right? But you know what they did? It is not just about winning or not winning. You see where they were cooking all the figures, right? This is what INEC announced. Okay, so you have them on. Let me see if I can bold in some so that you can see what they actually look like. So Plateau State. Okay, so this is Plateau State. For example, hang on, yeah. So as they declared, all right, I want to see if I can like bolden it enough to kind of, you know, no, it's not going to be wider. Right, it doesn't matter. We'll manage it, right? One moment. Okay. So I'm coming back to that. Yeah. So for example, now, so that means, so like, for example, rather, where they said Tinubu, let me say Niger State. Let's see who won in Niger State according to this report. So according to this report, right, for example, Niger State. So Niger State was declared for Tinubu, okay? So, but when you look at Obi, when you look at Atiku, it got, Tinubu got 48%, according to INEC result, the numbers. Atiku got 36%, which means Atiku got 25% in Niger State, Abi. So deliberately, in that same Niger State, they gave Obi 10%. That is the real rigging. It's not that Obi has to win in Niger, but the cook number will put him so low, right, that by the time they add together all of the 25 states it was meant to actually constitutionally meet, but according to INEC, it won't meet them. Do you get the drift? It won't. Their numbers will show that it is even far away. They won't give him 20%. They won't give him 24%. They won't check another one. Let me show you another one. Kwara. See, they gave him 6%. You get that? Because they are allocated numbers. It's not actually meant to win them, but with what is the real result, is not like it didn't make all his 25% in those places. This is where the riggings happened. In your state, where Seyi Makinde and his people were actually like on hand to ensure that they fulfill their own part of the deal, like with Wike. So that rigging part is to ensure that Obi won't see 25% there. When the real result will show up, right, showing up as probably got 30, 31%, they can't deal with that. So they have to cut down the number so well that when you say you want to go to court, people will say, going to court to do what? Do you get the rigging? This is the way. It's not actually you see, apart from reducing your number, apart from fencing some of you, not allowing you to vote, and at the same time, making sure that some of you who voted, your votes, they destroy them, Abi. Apart from all of that, the real rigging is the insertion of the numbers in all these states. Sure you get? Because when you start looking at them, you'll be like 12% in Kogi. Is that how much they love APC in Kogi? With Yeye Bello's failure. Are you with me? So these are also, look at Benue. Benue, yeah, oh, they gave him 40% in Benue. Imagine Benue. They said, oh, their governorship candidate is a reverend father. He's a reverend father. They love him so much. He's the same reverend father, the same as Tinubu. So all of these are where the rigging really happened. Sure you get? So, well, let's see. And it is not just APC. Hang on. Right? Let's go a little bit up. Look at Zamfara. This Zamfara, well, right? They didn't even give Obi anything there. Where is Obi? See, it was like nowhere is all deliberate. Sure you get. So if you look at Jigawa, where APC also was declared winner, they didn't even give him any percentage. See, in the entire Bauchi, INEC said Obi and Labour, they scored 153 votes in the entire Bauchi. But the INEC result from one single local government in Bauchi recorded over 2,000 votes for Labour Party in one local government, over 2,000. And if you have almost 30 local governments in a state, and one local government has over 2,000, and the whole state recorded 150, what does that tell you? This was where the riggings were. These were the numbers they were asking Abi to come and prove. Come and prove all these numbers. You have announced the winner. Fine, great. But we want you to come and prove that. Now, it's not just APCO. Let's go and check that of PDP. Wherever you see red, now where then declare for Atif could be that. Sure you get. It's a game of rigging number. You get? Now, I'm still coming back to where they even declared Obi winner and what they cut down. Oh. Then you can compare. Oh. Sure you get. Somebody said, go to court. Mayegun is not me. I'm explaining to my own brethren here. Obi don't hire lawyers already. Where they court, they do them for them. Sure you get. But I'm here to make it more easier for those who are going to be busy gaslighting people, raising up a tribal division and the religious this and that. These are the real issue. Are you with me? Like I told you, this is not a court. Whatever I say here, they are not new. They are already public. They are everywhere. It's not like something that I'm picking up from any. They are in public. You all have it. You have them. Anyway, it wasn't just APCO. So let's go to Plateau. Let's go to where you see green. Those are the places they declared for Atifku. Now let's go to, for example, Oshun. Do you see? In Oshun, right? Atifku won in Oshun. But see the number they gave to Obi. It's just to let you know this. Nobody wanted him. Nobody. So you get, it worked because at least they can say we were just only surprised. Look at Kaduna. PDP won in Kaduna. Okay, I think they did a little bit well in Kaduna, but they ensured that Obi and his people, they won more than five. Sorry. I think, they won about 6 House of Assembly, according to their result. They won about 3 or 4 House of Rep, but INEC declared one. They won one senatorial seat. INEC declared PDP. But look at this rigging as well, right? Obviously. So, despite doing well in Kaduna, they ensure that it won't get that 25%. So you get. The numbers are not going to add up enough to get that 25%. It's deliberate. Now, look at this, but PDP won. Sure you get. And Tinubu got his 25% there, right? Now look at Bauchi. Sure you get. In Bauchi, the one I told you earlier, they gave him 5%. Was it 5%? 150 votes. You don't even get 0.003%. When one single local government gave him over 2,000 votes, INEC declared 150 overall vote for the whole Bauchi for him. You see? His name is not even popping up in 1 to 3. It is deliberate. PDP got the place. The governor there is PDP. Atif Kusman. Look at Taraba. Here you get. Taraba, according to record, Peter Obi won in Taraba. And in fact, he actually won convincingly. But guess what? They gave it to Atifku. And they gave him second. They couldn't deny him his 25%. You know what I mean? When you score over 50% of the votes. And they gave you 29%. Are this making any sense to you at all? Or they don't. Don't worry. You'll soon get to understand where I'm going. Right? Now, this is Taraba. Now, if you go to Adamawa, they gave him 14% there. Meanwhile, in Adamawa, he got over 30% of the vote. But they put Tinubu in the middle. To make sure that Tinubu meets that 25%, figure by figure, Mahmoud make sure that they got 25.1% in Adamawa, right? Now, all these numbers cannot be proven. That's the problem again. All of this were supposed to be in the Beavers machine. But guess what? INEC has reformatted the Beavers machine. The Beavers machine has been reformatted. The results are likely not going to be available anymore. And the story of Nigeria Live will roll on and roll on and roll on. Now, I hope you are paying attention to the riggings I'm pointing out. They are just to tell you that the rigging is not just about adding numbers, number. No. They did them so well that those areas where it will not meet that constitutional requirement, it not go get that 20 to 25%. They deliberately push him to that third so as to discourage him from saying, I won. Now let's go to the part where Obi believed that he won, and obedience are always going to believe that Obi won. Sure you get. According to INEC, they said Tinubu scored 8 points. Waiting again. Hey, may I go check? 1 second though. They said Tinubu scored 8.7. I think that's it. 8.794 million votes in 28 states, according to them. Well, anyway, it shall score all over Nigeria. It scored 7.9 million. 8.7 million. And they said Atiku scored 6.984 million votes. And they gave Obi distant third, not so distant anyway, distant third of 6.1 million. Yeah. Kwankwaso was given 1.496 million, which is like roughly 1.5 million votes. So between Tinubu and Obi, if you deduct 6.1 million from 8.7 million, plus or minus, you can say we are going to have a 2 point, hang on. That's going to be like a 2.6 million. So, according to INEC Mahmoud, even if they try back and forth, are you with me? Obi can't catch up. Look at that margin. They make it look like it's so much a margin. 2.6 million. So, but if you go back to Rivers State, where the difference between Obi and Tinubu scored, according to record, he scored about 125,000 votes in the entire Rivers State, while Obi scored 237,000 or thereabout votes. So that is nearly 80,000 votes taken off Obi, added to Tinubu's, and they added another extra 20,000 bogus votes, which means from a party 130,000, Tinubu is getting over 240,000. That's 110,000 more. Remove them from the 2.6 million. How much remain? 2.49 million. That means in Rivers State alone, you will get, they begin to kind of cut the whole thing, right? You will cut down 110,000 they illegally added to call loose. The number will reduce. Then let's go to Lagos. In Lagos State, Kolu did so bad. I mean, so bad that when they were now cooking figures like, you see, APC, it would have been a miracle. I'm not making this up for real. This is why they got so mad. It would have been a miracle if APC produced one senator, be one rep in that Lagos State election. If they allowed everybody to come out, APC would not produce one senator in Lagos. They will not produce one house of rep in Lagos. But you will never know anymore because they put up their structure of violence. But let's now check the numbers. When the news came that they are already beating them in Alimosho, everybody became so scared in Lagos. Alimosho local government is the traditional base of Tinubu's political backing. Anything Tinubu is from Alimosho. And that is why Aregbemubo Baba Kabiru is somebody that Tinubu couldn't joke with politically for a very long time before trailer passed their midst. When the obedient routed them in Alimosho, routed them in Oshodi, routed them in Etiosa, Ibejuleki, and all these areas where we were like, oh my God, they were going to kill people. That was when you will realize that it don't finish. But what did they do? INEC Mahmoud, from the result, Tinubu scored 151,215 in the entire Lagos state. It shock you or it no shock you? Omo, I don't know if some of you remember the time when these guys were trying to push the agenda that Lagos state election was rigged after the presidential. How many of you remember that? The thing not just fly because it was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing for them. Like, how did this happen? They were threatening themselves on social media. They were telling themselves that they shouldn't report back to Alausa on Monday if they lose Lagos State. If someone should lose, they were shocked to their marrow, even though they are doing all the grand nonsense everywhere. These are just pure noisemakers, hungry people that even APC, Egbekegbe, could not, their love for APC, Egbekegbe, could not show because there was no money to give to them to come and vote. Sure you get? So they left the whole space for the Agberos, for the thugs. But guess what? In that same Lagos state, that same day, the obedient that they called the obedient, they scored 976,000 and something else votes. 976,000, nearly a million votes inside Lagos. Despite all that threat, everything, nearly a million. So it took them time to start writing the result, the Senate, the rep, the everything. They started writing. And it took them time, to announce the results. You know that, you know the story. By the time they announced the result, Kolu that scored 150,000, suddenly don't score 570,000. 570,000. Ha! Those who scored over 900,000, they have reduced them to 580,000. And INEC announced that. Now, look at this number. Let's now compare the numbers now. Okay? So, reducing their number from over 900, nearly a million, to 580,000, plus or minus, means they lost 400,000 votes. And that 400,000 votes, they added extra 10,000 to it themselves, making it 410,000, or in fact 20,000, 420,000 votes that they removed from the obedient. They added it to that of Kolu, 150,000. And then June, it became 570,000, bringing the difference between them to just 9,000. Shebi, you won in Lagos. What else do you want? You won in a strong base. You want no, don't bring that. The number says you have rigged, you've cheated. So which means you are going to remove two numbers here. First, from the remaining 2.4 million that is using to lead after you remove River State. What is next? You remove 400,000 and 420,000. They remove from obedient in Lagos. You will first remove that from the 2.4 million. What is left? 2 million. Abi? Then you will now remove another 420,000 that they added to his 150,000 votes in Lagos. You remove the 400 and something thousand again from that 2.4 million. How many remain? 1.6 million. Abi? I'm still coming. Now, 2 states be that, just 2 states. Let's go to Plateau State. From their IREV information, they declared Obi winner of Plateau State. But it was the worst case of what they did in Lagos State. But because Plateau State is very far from Lagos, Maybe a lot of you didn't pay attention. Yeah? From the report, they said the vote of Obi in Plateau State is over 1.2 million. At first, the result at first, they said 1.8 million. They said, no, that's exaggerated. By the end of the day, 1.2 million was recorded for Obi in Plateau State. This is the state that the chairman of Tinubu's campaign, the governor of the state, Lalong comes from, is the governor. They trounced them in Plateau State that it was so embarrassing that they have to cut down the number just to reduce the shame. You know what they did? From 1.2 million votes, they reduced it to 360,000 votes for Obi in Plateau State. 340,000 votes. Do you know the difference there? That is like 900,000 votes wiped off. 900K. Baba. Come on. Now take 900,000 out of the 1.6 million that Tinubu is using to lead him. And add it. You know, I haven't even started adding his numbers. From 6.1 million in Rivers State, it will get back about 80,000. That is a 6. What? Well, still 6.2 million. Abi? So in Lagos State, it will get back about 400,000 votes. That is a 6.6 million. Abi? Tinubu's vote from 8 point whatever is now what? Is now coming down, Abi, to 7. In fact, I don't mix some, Abi, but you are following me, Sha. I'm going to go with that of Tinubu first. Then I'll come back to that of Obi so that I'm not going to mix some. Yeah. 900,000 votes. So if you now take 900,000 votes that suddenly disappeared in Plateau State and give it to the real owner, does that not take him over 7 million votes already? Is he not going to be leading both Atiku and Tinubu already? Of course, he's going to be leading them. And these are just 3 states. 3 state meta, just 3. You need to go and see what they did in Imo. Go and see what they did in Ebonyi. Go and see what they did in Akwa Ibom. And they will begin to make sense to you. That more. Let's say this guy actually won the election. Oh, no, this guy won the election, Despite all of the old state machinery, everything, Hey, now your anger is better understood by those who know the numbers. But that is not how Nigeria works. Edo State. When people begin to tell you the reduction here, and there, when they bring everything together, this guy said, even despite the state's coordinated rigging, they are so confident that Obi actually got over 10 million votes across Nigeria. He met all the constitutional requirements. And, that is why he's not going to accept any government of national unity. This is why they're going to hate him more. He's disrupted the whole establishment. He's disrupted the whole political space. He's a phenomenon that nobody is able to explain. Shutting it down has become the hardest job for these guys. That's why they share it. I'm just asking you to play with numbers now. I have told you I don't be their lawyer, so I'm just giving you this layman explanation to understand what played out using the template of the same BBC that is now saying that whatever happened in Rivers State was bad. But it's not bad enough to say Tinubu didn't win. By the time they do the plus or minus, Tinubu no score 2 million votes in the entire Nigeria. It shock you? I remember that day when I said, maybe I said Tinubu go lose Lagos. A lot of you watched that broadcast live. It was one of the most streamed broadcasts of Mayegun's Diary Political during the election at that time. A lot of you watched it. A lot of you watched in disbelief. What are you saying, Mayegun? Are you sure, Mayegun? Are you? It's not possible. I'm not. I mean, even if they are going to, they routed them in Lagos. It was shocking. Then shocked me. And it was everywhere. Everywhere. So when you begin to do the plus or minus, you understand why they are worried. But I told you, I said, when they rig you, they will ask you to join government of national unity and abandon your court case. But when they tell this guy to leave court and all of that, he was like, no, I'm not leaving the court. No. Let courts legitimize this fraud. Then we can know that, you are done for. There's nobody that can help Nigeria anymore. He has the case. Now, the problem now is this. Sure, you want to know the problem? INEC is now saying they never told anybody to upload results on IREF. Yes. Tinubu's lawyers are telling court that INEC is the only one who can determine how to announce results or where. That according to INEC did not use any IREF or anything because people hacked it. All the results you are seeing on IREF, they were hacked. So therefore, INEC is going to discredit their own result platform at the tribunal. Do you know that? Yeah, they're going to discredit IREF. They're going to say IREF is compromised. Hackers are the ones who are putting up the results. Really? Now you're going to understand, and this is going to actually get you angrier. You're going to get more angrier. Trust me. That is what Nigeria represents. You're going to get more mad, very mad, angry. Because INEC is coming out to say, yes, we developed IREF. We intended to use IREF. But because IREF is compromised, they decided not to use it anymore. So any result there is not valid. What about the Supreme Court judgment on Osun's election? The one that says the beavers will determine which vote is valid and which one is not valid. So in Osun State, where they submitted their beavers for the election, they submitted it for examination. They submitted it to those who are building their cases. Yeah, in Osun. But in the case of Abuja, Tinubu versus Obi versus Atiku, right? Beavers has been reformatted. You remember that time now when they fight? Don't reformat it, oh, don't clear the memory, oh, don't clear it, oh, they want to clear evidence, oh, they want to destroy evidence, oh. I said, I'm going to go destroy them. And they did. They destroyed the evidence, but they're going to need it now. And if they can't have beavers and they can't have IREF, listen to this. When I say they can't, I mean, if Obi and his lawyers will not have access to be able to use the IREF or use the beavers, now, to prove that Tinubu rigged, will become harder. And that is why INEC is going to defend this fraud by saying they never approve IREF as your election collation. You're going to read the headline soon. Yeah, you're going to read. When the tribunal kicks in or continues from tomorrow, you will read the headline. INEC denies using IREF, discredited IREF. There are many other prayers in that petition. Sure you get. But behind the scene, it became very unusual. In Nigeria, whenever they have elections or their usual selections, it's like war. Then after that, they will become friends. They will start decamping. They will start, chasing contract appointment from themselves. And the rest of Nigerians who were like, who are like, victims of their charade, they will just be watching them and say, Senator Jules Okalu has decamped to APC. Senator Akpabio, Governor has decamped to APC. Maybe these people with the fight the other day. That's how it usually works. Because somebody, when they want to bring a new government like that, that government, in order to cover their illegality or their fraud of how they kind of, come to power, they will start something called Government of National Unity. Government of National Unity. Let us unite and build Nigeria. For the sake of Nigeria, let's unite and loot Nigeria, so to say. Eh?
Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so.
I want to go and change my, my camera battery. And I actually need a new camera. It's going to cost me about 2,500 pounds. Can you believe that? Now, I can stop changing batteries, okay? I just made a wrong choice, or let me say, very terrible mistake. Buying an expensive camera that won't let me charge it while I'm using it. So I'm going to use that as a break, right? You who are just here, just joining us, okay? Trust me, there's something you should do if you haven't already. Like this broadcast to show that you are here. That's your offering. And then, share the broadcast. Invite those who should also kind of be part of this. Then when I get back, I'm going to take you to Paris, where Kwankwaso is cutting a deal for himself. Omo Lomo. I'll be back.
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord.
What
shall I say? Thank you,
Many people are in the bank because many people are dying. Everything are doing. Pressure ti wà. Mazo Yorùbá. Gbogbo nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ ń lù yìí. Pressure ti wà. Èyí gbogbo ṣe sọ. Ṣé ìlú lé? Fún wa lówó wa, ànówó ẹ wá sọ wá di lazy youth. Náà ẹ sọ wá di lazy youth. Òun ni mo wà ní táìmù yìí tí mi ò lè lọ bí iṣẹ́. Kò sówó.
Thank you for doing that for me. So we currently have over 3,000 of us. Well, over 3,700 of us on YouTube. And we only just have 800 who have dropped their offerings. Your offering is pick up that remote control now. Yeah, that your remote control. Pick that up. And then, bring up all those. Yeah, and then like the video and drop the remote control. And we can continue. Kwankwaso, the man that called the obedient Andrew liver salts. The man who told you that if an Igbo man wants to be president of Nigeria, he needs the blessing and the shoulder of a Kwankwaso to lie on, or else it's going to be a tall dream. In fact, who's going to vote for an Igbo man in northern Nigeria? He said it. He said nobody's going to vote for an Igbo man in northern Nigeria. So if the obedient are not just fooling around, they won't ask him to come and deputize Obi. He said that. And he put up a show, by the way, but he succeeded in something. He won a single state. A single state, and that is state. The state he formerly was the governor. And he's got 1.4 million or 1.5 million in all over Nigeria. So he ended up being the Andrew liver salt because he has a brand. They all have this red cap. Wherever you see them, there are so many. And it's pretty much like Kwankwaso was living in his own world at the time until the obedient came to bust the bubble of everybody. Obedient, you know why they don't like you? You know why people don't like you? I'm talking about these guys who were once your friends and all that. You bust the bubble. You broke so many people. You see, elections in Nigeria is like a business. A lot of people, this is their season. And you just came from nowhere and deflated people that are known, that, that thought they had this weight to pull here and there. You just came from nowhere. You didn't come from nowhere. That's a very wrong phrase to use for you. You came like a hurricane obedient. You humbled a lot of people. They won't like you for it. They won't like you for it. And that's why everybody just feel like it is a better thing to try to attack you, even if they have no reason to. Anyway, Kwankwaso's dance ended, and he was one of those who came out to say Tinubu didn't score 8 million. Well, you see, he's a career politician. Kwankwaso was governor of Kano, got defeated by Bafarawa. He came back again to do second term as Kano governor. Then he ended up being, before doing second term, he was the defense minister to Obasanjo. And he's been there in that government. After all of that, he became a senator again. He is a senator before he decided to run and become a president. He is a career politician, and this is what they live on. Let me show you what a career politician looks like, just in case if you are doubting. Here is a former governor of Zamfara State, the one that paid 250 million to buy, Malamu's book, the book about what he faced as Attorney General to Bokwari. This guy paid 250 million. Are you with me? Listen to him.
Assembly, but the same National Assembly.
I get that.
So I think it's a done deal.
I get that, Senator Yari. You want to be Senate president, but you were governor of Zamfara State. Yeah. That is still part of the poorest states in this country. 92% poverty. Those are the numbers coming out of Zamfara State. One of the highest as regards people impoverished in this country. Little or no, very little minimal development. But you are a man that lives in a lot of affluence and wealth. Even recently at a book launch, you gave 250 or close to 300 million naira to somebody at a book launch. A lot of people are saying, why didn't you spend a lot of effort in fixing your state and at least improving the poverty prospect when you were there? And what qualifies you now to want to be the Senate president?
What does Zamfara State have to do with the Senate president?
Your hitherto record.
And this one you are talking about.
That's what it is. Your record. Your record.
Excuse me. What does that? Excuse me.
Mr. Yari, that's the record you'll be judged by. That's the record you'll be judged by. That's your record.
Excuse me. What does that happen? Before me, how many governors governed Zamfara State?
So what did you do to change it?
Am